So, my name is Chris Perry. I'm the U.S. Vice President of Chevrolet Marketing. I've been in the job for, I think, about 4.5 months now. So new to General Motors. Not only new to the job, new to General Motors. Before coming here, I was Vice President of Marketing for Hyundai here in the U.S. I was with Hyundai for about 10 years, working in various areas, advertising, marketing, product and brand planning. And prior to that, I was with Isuzu. I had to spend some time with an advertising agency, did some consulting work before that, doing a lot of research. So a variety of different areas, but all around the automotive industry for about the last 25 years or so. All with mostly the research or marketing, advertising, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my background.
So what made you want to make the jump to Chevy?
You know, it's a funny story because I've known Joel Iwanek, who's you guys might have heard, he was just promoted to CMO, global CMO. Joel and I, we've known each other for quite a long time, and when he came to Chevrolet, or when he came to General Motors, he started texting me and saying I should be coming and so forth. And I told him to stop bothering me. Why would I move to Detroit? I'm living in Orange County, living a good life. And you're nuts. Why would I make this move? And I finally, I kind of realized that I didn't know what I was saying no to. So I said, okay, but the wife and I got on a plane and flew out to Detroit thinking, we'll go through the process that we can say no with a clear conscience, go back to Orange County and our wonderful lives, and be done with it.
Then you got roped in. Here you are.
And I got to tell you, I spent some time with, and like I said, I've known Joel for a long time. We've worked together in different brands. And so I purposely said, I don't really want to spend any time with you because I kind of know who you are. So I spent some time with Mark Royce, and since I assumed that I really wasn't going to want the job anyways, I asked him all the awkward, uncomfortable questions that normally you would never ask in an interview.
Since you knew you didn't want the job anyway.
Since I knew I didn't want the job. I was going to get on a plane that day, the next day, and be done with it, check the box, I did the right thing.
Wow.
And I asked him all the questions that you normally would never ask in an interview.
Did
and
he
had a lot of good, no, he didn't. He had a lot of good answers. And the more I talked to him, the more I thought, boy, this
might not be so bad.
This might be cool. And then I spent some time with Ed Wilburn, who's our global head of design, and he walked me around the design studio out at our tech center in Warren, and I asked him all the tough questions, and he kind of told me where they're going as a brand and how they want to evolve the Chevy franchise, and thinking, gosh, this could be cool. Because Chevrolet is such an iconic brand that we've all known for a long time. Whether you've driven a Chevrolet or not, it's played such an important role in American culture, right? There's been how many movies has Chevrolet been involved in? How many songs has been written about Chevrolet? And so at the end of the day, after spending time with Ed Wilburn and Mary Barr, who's the global head of HR, and Mark Royce, I'm thinking, this might work. We might do this.
In terms of,
and so here I am.
The hard questions you were asking where they were going and how they wanted to brand it.
Right, where they're going as a brand, and boy, some of the, and I think one of the things that people recognize within General Motors is the troubles that we've gone through the last couple of decades and the decisions that we made that were the wrong decisions from a consumer standpoint. We're making decisions that benefited General Motors and putting products out there that were because we needed to. Well, even cafe standards, we'd come up with a small car because it met the needs of General Motors, but it didn't necessarily meet the needs of the consumers. And I think the organization now recognizes that we can't survive doing that. And really the orientation now, and Dan Ackerson has said this many times, is we need to put the consumer in the center of the process now and try to understand what they want out of a product. And not just put something out there that meets our manufacturing needs or meet our regulatory needs, because we're going to fail doing that.
What are some unique ways that you're involving the consumer in the process?
Well, we do, like I said, my background is market research, so I kind of cut my teeth doing consumer segmentation studies, copy testing, you name it. And that's always the first question that we ask is, okay, what does the consumer do? So we do a lot of ad hoc research, whether it's in-home ethnographics or focus groups or quantitative syndicated research, whatever it is, just to get a better understanding of what the consumer's looking to get out of a vehicle or looking to hear from a brand. And part of it is just intuitive. You kind of know, you've been around doing this for 25 years, that's not going to, someone shows you something, you just go, that's just not going to work. Yeah, I can tell you that right now. That's just not a good piece of communication. And that's just the important part about it is just making sure that the consumer is the center of the process. We have this little diagram that I've showed a lot of people since I've been here, and it's just a little visual cue to let people understand how we want to approach how we go to business now, of the bow tie in the center of this diagram with a bunch of consumers around it. And a lot of times marketers tend to look at the world that way, right? And they go, okay, we're the center here, there's all these consumers, we're the planet, and all these people revolve around us. What are we going to do to get them into our atmosphere? And the reality is Copernicus taught us that back in the 1500s that, the sun doesn't revolve around us, we revolve around the sun. It's the same thing with consumers. Consumers are inundated by, I think the latest quote is 10,000 messages a day, right? When you walk into a grocery store and there's messages on the floor, and they're actively trying to resist messages from manufacturers, not take them in. So that's part of the process of not what do we want to tell consumers, not what we need to do to meet our regulatory standards, but what does consumers want from us? What do they want to hear from us? That'll make it more, that'll make Chevrolet more inviting and more appealing to them.
Consumers like reality. They like to touch, tangible. They like to be involved and talk and see what they're doing, which is why the social media has been taking off so much lately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Consumers want to be like, oh, I know Chris. I saw him on his Facebook talking about how awesome Chevy is. That guy's cool. I want to buy a car from him. It's just the way it is.
I should get on Facebook more often.
You should be doing video posts on the page. You get like over 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, buy a truck and like throw up the gang signs. I think it's funny.
Chevy side?
Yeah, like
we gotta come up with a
Chevy.
We gotta come up with a Chevy sign,
Yeah. Chevy side.
That's right. Something like that, right?
People
got
respond
that,
to people like it. I've noticed because I do a lot of social media. I do a lot of like presentations, and I get in front of people a lot. They like it when you get in their face because they like to know that you're on the same level as them.
Yeah.
They know and they respect your job and what you do. But when you talk to them, like
You're not talking down.
Yeah, you're not talking down. Like if you're just shooting it, and talking, and maybe not being totally 100% professional. Granted, in some aspects you need to be.
Right.
But when you're able to kind of just get in their face and talk to them like you would be a friend, they like that. It makes them feel welcome. Well, because our world is so much in tune now with reality TV being so big. 10 years ago, you would see a movie with Brad Pitt because he was unattainable. Nowadays, you don't care who's in it because people think they can be whatever they want to be because reality is so big.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I run my business. I have a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers. I've been on TV, I've done stuff, but I just talk to them like any other person. And they're like, wow, this kid's not a douchebag.
Yeah.
And that's what they like.
Yeah.
Chris,
I'm from Boston, we say douchebag.
Sorry. Speaking of talking to consumers, word.
Yeah, see? It's already catching on. Hey, make sure I get on camera. I started that.
That's right. Speaking of that, and you said that you were talking about internally the discussions you guys have had around the kind of, maybe some things that didn't go quite as well as they should have in the past. What areas have you heard from consumers that maybe could be perceived as a weakness that you guys are looking to shore up first? What are the big priorities in that area?
I'd say one of the biggest things for me is our website. I think
we are actually working on a critique of the Chevy website. I'll make
critiquing it.
Critiquing it.
Hey, that's where I built my Camaro.
I actually have somebody doing a piece right now who, to be not so nice, is actually ripping the website apart. From a consumer point of view, he's not technical, he's not into cars, but he's interested in the Chevy.
Yeah.
And he's been listing all the stuff that he finds really frustrating about the Chevy website. We're actually going to have it out probably in about 2 weeks. But your website is actually one of the things that's come up frequently
it's
on
terrible.
ours.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a GM, Ford, and Chrysler focused website. We started as just GM. So we're the fans already. We like you guys. We're already on the same team. So hopefully that you can take some of that criticism as okay, this is just a love tap. We like you, but this is what you're not doing.
When are you doing the analysis? You're doing it right now?
The analysis is going on right now. It's probably going to be published in the next week or two.
So I think the website's a perfect example of, and I'm new to it, so I'm going to be critical. I'm sure there's somebody at General Motors is going to like this. But I think that's a good example of, I look at that website and I think somebody designed that from a manufacturer standpoint going out,
Absolutely.
right? Not looking at it as what's the consumer, why are they coming here? It's we're going to have this template because it fits with this orientation and that and so forth, and it's not very good. So at the end of this month, actually, we're going to be revising the website the best we can because
you got to get that article out.
Get it out there because then you can write an article in February about how the new website is so much better than the old website.
And you can claim they took
Sorry?
You can claim they took your
you can get the credit for it.
Even
and they
playing
won
off
awards from JD Powers for their website repeatedly when you were there, right? So,
Right, that's one of the things that I did is we completely redid the website and said, okay, what does the consumer want to learn? How do they want to use this website going forward? Not we want to tell them, but how are they going to use it? And I think if you go to the Chevy site now, I think to me it screams that somebody did it from a manufacturing standpoint and did it, how do we make it easy on us internally so it all fits together nicely and so forth, not looking at it from navigation and usability from the consumer standpoint. So we're redoing it at the end of this month. We're also redoing our mobile site at the end of this month. But it's something that we're continuing to build out, because even when we relaunch it at the end of the month, it's still not as good as it should be. It's better than it'll be than it is now. But we still have more work to do beyond that.